For minors, do we love minors? I love minors.
So we're into 16 hours.
Welcome back to A Wrap. Today we are going to go through a series of recent public statements, policy discussions, and events involving former President Donald Trump and members of his administration. The goal of this video is to present the information in a clear, neutral, and factual manner, without adding political judgment or unverified claims. If you appreciate content that aims to remain objective and balanced, make sure you like this video because it helps a lot. To begin, several clips and public remarks have circulated recently showing Donald Trump speaking on a range of topics. Some of these remarks drew attention due to unclear phrasing or repetition, which led various commentators to discuss the communication style and clarity of the statements. In one instance, Trump repeated the phrase, "We're into 16," without further elaboration, which led to questions about the context of the remark. As with many political moments, different audiences interpreted it differently, and the content of the clip was shared widely online. Another moment gaining attention involved Trump discussing economic performance and the Federal Reserve. In the clip, he referred to the Fed chair using a phrase that sounded unclear, and this also led to discussion about the intended meaning. The key factual point is that he was addressing economic expectations and referencing scheduled growth projections. His economic comments have always received heavy analysis, and this instance was no different. Moving to foreign policy, Trump spoke about the seizure of a tanker near Venezuela. He described it as a significant operation, characterizing the tanker as very large. While the exact comparative ranking of the tanker has not been independently verified, officials did confirm that a U.S.-involved operation took place. Because relations with Venezuela have been complex and politically sensitive for years, this event generated interest and raised questions about broader foreign policy direction. When asked to provide more information during the briefing, Trump deferred to other officials, indicating that additional details would be released separately. This is common in situations involving maritime operations or international enforcement actions where multiple agencies are involved. As with any major foreign policy action, different analysts offered different interpretations of what the seizure could mean. Some viewed it strictly as an enforcement measure, while others considered possible economic or diplomatic implications. What remains factual is simply that a tanker was seized, and officials stated that more information would be provided through formal channels. When covering politics neutrally, it is important to distinguish confirmed actions from interpretations, so we are sticking to the confirmed elements here. Another topic raised recently was the so-called gold card concept, which involved discussions about investment-based immigration pathways. The explanation given by administration officials was that individuals could qualify through specific financial thresholds and undergo government vetting. Investment-based immigration programs exist in several countries worldwide, and the U.S. has historically had forms of investor visa categories as well. However, questions were raised during the briefing regarding how funds from such a program will be handled and how revenue would be allocated. Trump stated that proceeds would go to the U.S. Treasury and be used for positive purposes, although detailed legislative or administrative frameworks were not fully outlined in that moment. As with any proposed policy, full implementation would require formal processes, legislative involvement, and regulatory clarity. Another point of discussion involved investment commitments from business leaders. In some public meetings, various corporate representatives expressed plans to invest large amounts of capital in the United States over the coming years. Investment figures mentioned in such meetings are typically projections rather than confirmed spending totals, and businesses often adjust their plans over time based on market conditions. For that reason, while such numbers may be discussed publicly, it is important to treat them as stated intentions rather than guaranteed outcomes. This is normal for economic announcements across different administrations. There was also a resurfaced clip of a technology executive mentioning an investment estimate during a previous briefing. The executive openly acknowledged not being fully prepared for the question, which highlighted how some public numbers arise from spontaneous estimates rather than formal financial disclosures. This is not unusual during live events, where participants may respond quickly without complete documentation in front of them. The key factual takeaway is that investment projections shared in public settings are often preliminary. Regarding domestic economic policy, Trump discussed the role of tariffs and the potential impact on consumer goods. In a clip that's circulated widely, he mentioned that certain products could be reduced or limited if tariffs created additional costs. He emphasized the importance of materials like steel for national security. Tariff debates traditionally involve balancing economic impacts, supply chain concerns, and national strategy. Economists usually provide a wide range of opinions on how tariffs affect prices, markets, and manufacturing, and the discussion around these comments followed that same pattern. What we can state factually is that he was emphasizing prioritizing essential materials over non-essential goods as part of his argument. In various clips, observers also commented on Trump's presentation style, including moments of repetition, pauses, or unclear phrasing. Because political communication is interpreted differently depending on audience, it is important to approach these moments with factual clarity rather than assumptions. A neutral perspective simply acknowledges that the remarks were widely shared and generated public discussion without assigning intention or condition. Before we continue, if you value balanced, non-sensational political breakdowns, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe because it directly supports content that stays away from extreme or biased narratives. Returning to the broader theme of transparency in political communication, many media outlets highlight different parts of speeches depending on editorial priorities. Some focus more heavily on policy, while others highlight unusual phrasing or brief moments that go viral. The key point is that political coverage varies widely across channels, and viewers often receive different impressions depending on where they get their information. This is why going through primary sources and official transcripts is so important. In the closing remarks of one circulated video, the speaker emphasized the value of showing full, unedited clips so audiences can judge the context for themselves. This is a widely shared viewpoint in media literacy discussions. The idea that complete footage helps reduce misunderstanding and selective interpretation. Regardless of political side, many analysts support the principle of providing full context whenever possible. As we wrap up today's breakdown, I want to thank you for watching and for approaching these topics with an open and analytical mindset. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.